And then I'm going to start again and say hello and welcome to the Lakeshore. I'm Jane Rongren, the Community Relations Director here with the Lakeshore. I would like to share a little bit with you about our beautiful community for those of you who have been here and perhaps have not been here yet. Many of you have been here probably or perhaps previously. And for those of you who are less familiar, I'd love to share with you that we are a premier retirement community that sits on the South Shore of beautiful Lake Washington. It's a great day to be at the lake shore today with the sun out and looking at that beautiful lake view. We have 156 apartment homes offering a variety of studio, 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom apartment floor plans. We here at the lake shore and all Era Living communities, we operate what is known as a flex license with the state of Washington. And what that means is that any resident, independent, or one of those, any that may find that they may need assisted living services in the future, can live in any one of our 156 apartments. Approximately 70% of our residents live independently, and another 30% utilize the assisted living services that we do offer. Should you come in as an independent living resident down the road, you find yourself needing assistance, the beautiful thing is that with that flex licensing, you're allowed to stay in your apartment and there's no need to relocate to a different apartment or another wing of the community. You get to stay right where you're at, where you're comfortable, the apartment you know and love. Right now, we are able to be moving residents into the community again. We've been doing that for the last couple months. We are able to do full community tours via FaceTime, Zoom, other virtual opportunities, as well as coming into the community in person. I'm excited to share that we have now completed the first 2 COVID-19 vaccine clinics at all 8 of our Era Living communities. Over 2,000 people, including residents, staff, third-party caregivers, and other vendors who frequently visit our buildings for essential work have been vaccinated. As you may know, at this time, some have chosen not to we have chosen as a company to not mandate the vaccine for residents or staff members. We believe that mandating it makes more people a little bit more skeptical and resistant, especially for a new vaccine that was approved through emergency use authorization. And instead, we've focused on helping everyone get the information they need from trusted sources so that they could choose to get the vaccine with confidence. We are very proud to say that our education and awareness efforts have paid off. Across all 8 Era Living communities, 89% of residents and staff have been vaccinated. And that translates into approximately 98% of all residents in all 8 communities, and at least 75% of all staff have received both doses of the vaccine. I also want to share with you that as of this past Monday, March 1st, we have been able to enjoy a lot of the former activities pre-COVID from a year ago. I can't believe it's been a year, but as of March 1st, our dining room has opened for 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Our exercise room is available for use. Life enrichment activities have reactivated with in-person exercise classes, scenic bus rides, garden club, bingo is happening very soon, and much, much more. So that's created a lot of excitement and happy folks in the community. If you are interested in learning more about the Lakeshore, or if you're interested in a tour or making a reservation to move to the Lakeshore, or if you know anybody who might be in a position to do so or interested in learning more about the Lakeshore, I encourage you to yourself or have your friends contact us here at the Lakeshore in the Community Relations Office. Lisa, Alicia, Lexi, and myself are always happy to be of assistance. So now on to our main event. I am delighted to introduce you to Mary Kay Horton. She is joining us today to present on a very timely topic of selling your home in during a pandemic, which is brought to you, of course, by us here at the Lakeshore. Mary Kay is a senior real estate service provider with Keller Williams Puget Sound, and she's been helping seniors sell their homes for over 20 years. And so I would like to welcome Mary Kay. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that Mary Kay can join us and take over the controls here of the screen. And we're going to get going with Mary Kay's presentation and information. I hope you all learn lots today. Enjoy, and I'll see you on the other side.
So thank you so very much. I really appreciate being here. Thank you everybody at Lakeshore for inviting me, and I welcome all of the attendees as well. So the way I'd like to do this is I do have a few slides that I want to show you to begin with, and then want to open it up to questions and answers. I want to be sure that we have some interaction here and get any of the questions that you might have answered. But it is very nice that you know, we're not 100% out of the woods yet with this COVID, but man, it's nice that things are opening up. So glad that so many people have been vaccinated there at Lakeshore and all of the communities that they have. It's, you know, like I say, you know, we're not out of the woods yet, but it's a whole lot better than it was even a year ago. So it's not as scary, I guess. So that's a good thing. So before we actually get going with any of that, I did want to, like I say, share my screen and go through a couple of the reasons why this is such a great time to be selling your property. So give me just a second here. Let's share the screen. So we're here selling your home during a pandemic. And my thing here, there we go. So this is a chart that I wanted just to start off with and show you that this is such a strong selling market. And like she said, I've been doing this for nearly 20 years and I've never seen a market like it is now. It's the best time for sellers to put their home on the market. This here shows you that February of 2020, and this is for King County, the median sold price by month was $682,750. That would be the median price for King County. And February of 2021, that has jumped up to $754,500. So even through this pandemic, home sales and prices have been up 11%, which is pretty amazing. Now, keep in mind that this is all of King County. Some communities I've seen as high as 17. And so, you know, that kind of depends on, you know, where you are within King County. But the value of homes just continue to rise, which is a really good thing. And here's why it is so good for sellers, because this is the month's supply of inventory. This is what they call the absorption rate. And so given all of the properties that are on the market right now, last year, it would have taken just slightly over 1 month to sell all of those properties. And now, where we are right now, it is like 2 weeks. 2 weeks, we are down 56% as far as inventory goes. And it's all about supply and demand, all about supply and demand. And so right now, there is just not enough supply for the demand of buyers that are out there wanting to purchase. And one of the reasons that they are wanting to purchase so much right now is because interest rates are so low and they want to take advantage of those really, really low interest rates. So it's a great time for both buyers and sellers. But I have to tell you, it can be pretty frustrating for buyers because more often than not, they are competing to purchase. And so that's where we have, I'm sure that people have heard about multiple offers and the sell price actually escalating over the asking price. And so, like I say, it just is a really perfect storm when it comes to real estate right now. So I want to talk a little bit about the key to any successful sale is in the planning process. And so the planning process is a little bit different being in the pandemic, but in reality, it's not that much different than what it was before, especially when it comes to marketing property, because most real estate companies and realtors have been doing online marketing long before the pandemic ever even started. And so we are, of course, doing more Zoom presentations, and but the actual marketing of the property, a lot of it is through social media and online. And so that hasn't changed a lot. But the planning process is really key. During our initial consultation with a buyer, we ask a lot of questions. We ask the who, what, where, when, why, and how. And this is going to help us in molding our services around the specific needs of the individual seller who is wanting to sell and take advantage of this hot market. So let's talk a little bit about who, who owns the property, and who are the decision makers. Sometimes the decision makers are going to be power of attorney, or a lot of times family members are involved in the process and stuff as well. But we want to know who, and then we always do, because of COVID, we ask about high risk. Who is high risk for getting COVID, and have you been vaccinated? Not that people need to be vaccinated. There are a lot of people who choose not to, which, is certainly their right. But, our whole goal is to keep everybody as safe as possible throughout this entire sales process. This is not unusual. What are you selling? Are you selling a home, a single family resident? Are you selling a condominium? Does the condominium have a gated entrance? What are we going to do to have access to the home? And what kind of condition is it in? A lot of times people just want to sell it as is and not do anything to it. We can certainly accommodate that. If they want to get the highest dollar value for it, we may suggest some repairs or something to the house if it needs it. It's all is on an individual case-by-case basis, and that's why that consultation is so important, is to find out what it is that we're selling. And this is, sometimes it's a little hard for people to wrap their heads around the product that they're selling. It's been your home, and a lot of times it's been a home for 30, 40, 50 or more years, and this is where all of your memories are, and this is where you've raised your family and stuff. But when you go to sell the property, we really kind of need to look at it as a product that we're going to be putting on the market and marketing it. Does it have some special amenities and everything? Excuse me. And now, one of the other things, and partly because of COVID, do you have any special home selling needs? 43% of home owners today, or American public, are working from home. And so sometimes there needs to be some special accommodations for these folks that need to have their home office. And are they going to be continuing to live in the home while it's being sold? Do we need to make some special showing arrangements, that kind of stuff? And pets, sometimes people have pets that we need to kind of work around. How are we going to show the home when they're pets? Excuse me, a little tickle there. So the other thing, while we're talking about getting your home ready for sale and stuff, are you going to plan to sell it vacant, or is it going to be an occupied home? a lot of times it is so much easier to sell a vacant home. So we like to encourage people to get moved, get settled, get happy in their new home, and then we will go ahead and sell it. But sometimes that isn't always possible. And so we want to do whatever we can to keep you safe during your occupied home. Where are you moving? So we like to know where you're moving so that we can help plan that move if you haven't already moved. If you've already have purchased a new home or you've secured a residency there at Lakeshore or, whatever. And do you need some assistance in your moving? We do work with move management companies, and we work with downsizers that do estate sales or somehow liquidating your property. And we do this all during the pandemic, keeping everybody very safe. We follow the COVID guidelines. Everybody who comes in your home, of course, has to wear a mask, observe the social distancing, put on booties, everything that is helping to keep you and everybody else safe during this pandemic. When do you plan to move? So when we're going through our initial consultation with you to, help put this plan together that is specific for you, we want to know what your timing is like. Because I have to tell you, with the market moving so quickly, we kind of need to be prepared to act quickly. Houses are not sitting on the market for a long time like they have in years past. They are moving very quickly. So you want to have that, you want to know where you're going to move before you put the house on the market, because it's going to sell, and it's going to sell quickly. And I need to kind of preface that a little bit. And so there are some homes that do take longer to sell than others. I think that's why it's really important to get the price right up when the house comes on the market. If there's any repairs that need to be done, or what's holding the house back from not moving quickly, we're going to want to take that into consideration. Why are you moving? This kind of helps us stay very focused on the goal. And right now with this pandemic, one of the things that we're seeing a lot is people have been, really homebound for the better part of a year. And I'm running into a lot of people that are just plain lonely. They want to get into a community like Lakeshore so that they can be around other people. Especially, it's so nice that things are opening up, having the dining room open and stuff like this. People are craving that interaction with other people. And so this is another reason why people are wanting to move now and taking advantage of all of that. And then finally, when we go through this initial consultation, it is, how can we best serve you? So it's really important that your realtor becomes your best friend. We want to know what it is that your needs are. You need to communicate with us if you have any specific needs or concerns or anything like that, so that we can help you through this process. So once we have all of that, throughout the whole process, I had mentioned this before, everybody wears masks and does a social distancing. And we do go in and wipe down all of the high touch areas before and after showings. We're talking about doorknobs and light switches and any place where people are going to be kind of a high touch area. And one of the nice things that has opened up here recently is we are now able to do open houses. The restriction is that we are limited to having only 10 people in a house at a time. And so to help monitor that, we usually have 2 people in the house at all times, one that is actually going to be escorting, potential buyers through the home, and then somebody else that is going to be at the door monitoring how many people come in at a time, because we want to really stick to those COVID guidelines and stuff. So that here again, we always want to, safety is our number one thing when it comes to selling a home. And so once we have your plan together, we follow the process of selling it, always following the plan. How are we going to get the house show ready? How are we going to market the home? Negotiating the sales, and keep in mind that, when you have multiple offers that are coming in, we have to weigh each of the offers, and that's going to come in and get you the best for your particular home. And of course, manage the transaction. That's going to include working with the home inspector, if there is a home inspection, or appraisers that are going to come into your home. If there are going to be, special things that come up throughout the transaction. And then of course, closing the sale. Nice thing is that when we work with title and escrow companies that have a lot to do with the closing process, a lot of them will come to your home so that you don't have to go out and go to the office or whatever. They will have a notary come to your home, or to community like Lakeshore, so that all of the signing process for the sale is as easy on you as possible. Here again, everybody's going to be keeping you safe with the masks and hand sanitizers and that kind of stuff. So I kind of want to get a dialogue going with anybody who has any questions. I did get a few emails ahead of time, people that had some questions. So I'm going to just kind of start it off with a couple of questions here. But if you have anything, please feel free to put it in the chat. Let us know so that we can answer those questions. But one that just came through said, what if I need power of attorney and don't have one? Not everybody needs to have a power of attorney when it comes to, selling their home, but it is always advised, especially for seniors. And I'm working with this one woman right now. She does have a power of attorney. It is her sister who lives in Cleveland, but her sister really does not want to be power of attorney. She does not have any friends or family members that she feels like she can have power of attorney. But we do have resources for just about anything to help you. And like we have a private client fiduciary who acts as power of attorney on your behalf throughout the selling process, if that's something that that you need to have. Another question that I have here, is it best to sell our home vacant or occupied? And I think I had mentioned, it is easiest to sell your home vacant, but sometimes that is not always possible. So if it is occupied, then we're going to make suggestions. We always want, while there's a showing going on, whenever possible, to leave the home and allow it to be shown. I'll tell you that in this market, with it moving so quickly, that it is advised that if you are living in your home, occupying the home, that the first couple of days that the house is on the market, you're going to want to go visit a friend or family member or something, and really be out of the house as much as possible for the first couple of days that the house is on the market, because there are so many people wanting to get in and take a look at it, that it'll be very disruptive if you were there. So it's easier just to leave. And keep in mind that anytime that there is a showing, the prospective buyers are escorted through the house with the attending realtor and stuff. So somebody is going to be there in the house. It's not just like opening up the door and anybody's coming in. They're going. And anybody who goes through the house, there's a lockbox that's going to be on the house. And every time an agent opens up that lockbox, it is recorded. We know when somebody is through the house, so that we can follow up with them. But just as importantly, it helps with the appointment process. And so that actually is a requirement. Even if it's a totally vacant home, it's required now because of the pandemic that everybody who enters a home does have an appointment in order to do that. And that just kind of helps us keep on top of stuff. Anybody have any questions at this point? I've got some more questions here, but I wanted to be sure to touch bases with you guys.
If you do have questions, feel free to take yourself off mute on your computers or tablet or whatever device you're on and ask Mary Kay the question.
Yeah. So I have another question here, and I get this a lot, is what am I going to do with all of my stuff? I know that people go to retirement communities like Lakeshore and they get all excited and happy about, oh my gosh, I can't wait to live here. But then they go home and get kind of like, oh my gosh, get overwhelmed with all of the stuff that they have and what are they going to do? So we do have people that help with the downsizing process. We have estate sales people that will come in and do your home. For a while there, they could not, but now that things have opened up a little bit, they can come in and do estate sales now. If you have some special jewelry or artwork and you want to have, you're liquidating this kind of stuff, we do have personal property appraisers that can come in and help you liquidate any of that stuff as well. So here again, our whole goal is to make it as smooth and easy as possible for you. And of course, to answer any question. Another question is, how do I prepare for a showing? Say so you have an appointment, somebody wants to come and take a look at your property. What do you do then? So we do have a little guideline with that, just to make it easy on the buyer. We encourage you to go around and turn on all of the lights and then go ahead and lock everything up and leave the house. But it makes it a really warm and inviting when the lights are all on. And if it is an unoccupied or a vacant home, we do whatever we can. A lot of times, because the market is moving so fast, we'll go in and turn on all the lights, open up all of the drapes, make it very inviting for the viewers to come in and take a look at it, and then go back at the end of the day to close, to turn off all of the lights and stuff. And so we monitor the appointments, so we know when to do that. So yeah. So I have a lot of valuables in my home. How do I keep them safe? So whether it's a pandemic or not, the chances of somebody taking your property is very, very slim, but we want to make sure that we do everything we can to keep it safe. We encourage people, if you have any medications or firearms or jewelry or money, that all be, I recommend that people lock them away in their garage, in their trunk of their car. like I say, it's very slim, but we like to be able to make sure that everything is safe. Oh, here's a good question. Because the market is moving so fast and because people are often escalating the price above the asking price, keep in mind that the house, if the buyer is getting a loan for that house, it still needs to appraise. And with it moving so quickly, and escalated prices on, there are times when it does not appraise for what the purchase price is. And so we're seeing a lot of these special addendums added to the purchase agreement that says, okay, the house is going to appraise at X amount of dollars, but I want this house so much that I am going to make up the difference between what the appraisal price is and what what I'm willing to pay for it. And so we're seeing a lot of that happen. And so we watch out for those addendums and stuff. Otherwise, if we don't have that, then let's just say, somebody is purchasing the home for $800,000 and it appraises for $700,000, then a lender is not going to lend more than what it appraises for. So there's going to be a little bit of a gap. And that's why when we have these multiple offers going on, like we have so many right now, we take that into consideration when we are looking at it. Sometimes it's a financial decision that to actually not always accept the highest price. So we kind of look at that as well. But we sit down and we go through all of that with you when we are negotiating on that price. What do you think about staging, and is it necessary? So staging is a way of really talking to the home buyer. Well, first off, when a house is well staged, it's going to photograph better than a house that isn't staged. And those photos are so important when marketing, because so much of the marketing today is done online. We want those pictures to really pop, and we want them to really grab the buyer's attention, because they are looking at a lot of properties online, and sometimes that first impression is so important that we want those, like I say, those pictures to really jump out at you, and so that they want to take that next step to actually go and take a look at the property. Staging helps with that a lot. And so there are three different ways that it can be staged. We can stage an empty home with no furniture at all by going in and taking pictures and then having them virtually staged. And so that means that somebody with their computer will go in and actually, make the images look like it has furniture. The purpose of doing that here again is going to be so that it is online and kind of says, oh, this is how it's going to look. Staging also really defines space. And so sometimes if you've got some quirky little area in your home and it just doesn't flow as well, staging is really going to help with that. So staging, yeah, it definitely does help. Is it always necessary? Nope. Sometimes it just needs to be just really lightly staged with maybe the kitchens and bathrooms and nothing else. So here again, it's going to be more on a case-by-case basis. So anyway, is that help answering anybody's question? Does anybody have any questions on any of that? Carmen, it's good to see you again.
So. Mary Kay, I have one that was given to us, and this one has to do with wanting to sell the home, preferring to move to a community such as ours prior, but needing the money from the sale of that home, and how to best go about that whole process of, okay, I am ready to move, but I need that money. I gotta move first before I get the money. What do I do?
Well, that's a really good question. And that, sometimes that's a little bit difficult. I don't know. So it's, if you have your plan, I know that Lakeshore and some of the other retirement communities, you can go in and you can choose your place, put down a deposit that'll hold it until the house sells, and then you can go ahead. Do you have that at Lakeshore, where they would deposit?
We do have the deposit process, but there's a limit to how long we can hold that apartment before we need to start charging rent, versus releasing it and having it available, depending on the demand, of course.
Right.
So there are times that we can make some accommodations, but the typical guideline is usually that rent starts in a couple weeks, but we can always work with people for sure and put a plan together.
Yeah. And I think that that's what we need to take a look at. One of the things when we're doing our market analysis, and one of the big purposes for doing that is to help you plan and budget for your move. And so how much are you going to get out of the sale? Do you have a mortgage that needs to be paid off on it? So we want you to know your numbers so that you can help plan for that. But that is a little bit of a tricky thing. Sometimes, it is a matter of finding a temporary place to live, like maybe with a family member or something like that, until it actually sells. But that's why we go through that initial consultation to find out what is your situation and how can we best work through it. So it is kind of on a case-by-case basis. Did you have another question there?
Looks like, yeah, okay, yes. Here's a general question.
Okay.
What can I anticipate out of pocket for my closing costs, and how's this work again?
So that's another really good question. So when we do our consultation and we have our market analysis, we provide you with a seller's net proceeds. And the seller's net proceeds is going to outline all of the costs that are associated with selling, including real estate fees. It's going to include what your title and escrow fees are. We're going to have prorated taxes on that seller's net proceeds sheet, and then excise taxes. Excise taxes right now, for the most part, is 1.78%. And so, and that actually depends on the value of the home, the sale price of the home. It can fluctuate a little bit. For the most part, it's 1.78%. Which is like it's almost like a sales tax when you go to the grocery store and you're buying your groceries and you end up, paying tax on top of that. Excise tax is like a sales tax for your home, and all sellers have to pay for that. So anyhow, if you have a condominium, a lot of condominiums are going to have homeowners association dues, or they're going to have move in, move out fees. So we will get all of those numbers together. If, like I say, if you have a mortgage, we're going to take them so that you have an idea of how much money you're going to put in your pocket at the end of the day. So that's all going to be outlined for you, so that you know. Again, it's really important to know your numbers so that you can plan and budget for your move. And of course, we do that before the house comes on the market. Good question.
Great, thank you. Anybody else out there have some questions?
So I'm going to actually share my screen again here. Oh, I do have my screen here.
You're sharing.
Yeah, I am. I've been sitting here chit-chatting. I thought it was I think. So anyhow, just so that you know, I do have a little booklet that I'm happy to send out to you, and that's going to outline everything that we just talked about today, all of our consultation questions and our planning, as well as you know, the actual selling process. So I want to be sure that if you have any interest in that, you can go ahead and email me, and I'll be sure to get that out to you so that you can, you know, have some more information, can prepare for that initial consultation.
Mary Kay, I've got another question here.
Yeah.
From the chat, and it says, are condos selling as fast as homes are, and are they also going up in value?
Good question. Condos are selling. They do not sell as quickly as single family residents. Single family residents are usually within the first week, they're going to sell. Condos are running about 20 days. So they are a little bit longer sales cycle. And yeah, so, but they're still good. I mean, it is definitely still good to be selling your condos, just is a little bit more sluggish than single family homes are. Good question. Are there any other questions?
Anybody else with questions for us?
My little dog, Jake.
Oh, yes, there's Puppy.
Yeah. Well, I think that that's all I have, unless anybody has any additional questions. I do encourage you to give me a call if you do, or, you know, email me and I'll get that booklet out to you so that you have it. But hope that answered some of your questions about selling during a pandemic.
So that's good. Mary Kay, I took the liberty of stopping to share your screen so that we can get everybody up here. If anybody didn't get Mary Kay's information off that, you can let us know as well. I do want to remind those of you who have participated today that we have a drawing. I don't know if any of you remember that there's a drawing after today's event. We are going to do a drawing, and a random drawing, and the winner of today's participation event is $3,000 toward moving costs. So it could include $3,000 towards the closing costs of selling your home. It could be $3,000 to help you hire someone to pack up and move your things, work with a move management company that helps you with that process of downsizing. However you'd like to apply that $3,000. Alicia, help me out. Did we have a deadline of moving in by, or starting rent by May 30th? I think. May 15th. Reserved by May 15th. And we will have a winner. So we'll do that random drawing here. We've got to collect the names off of who attended today, and we'll pull that out, and we will notify the winner of that $3,000 who would like to move into the lakeshore in the next couple months. We'll be doing that drawing.
Good, that's nice.
All right, so if there are no more questions, I do want to thank Mary Kay. She's done this for us several times. Last year was, I think, a quick transition. We were scheduled for an in-person presentation at the Lakeshore, I think, Mary Kay, and we had to drop that and schedule a Zoom at the beginning of this crazy COVID time, and we had a fun time figuring that all out. But Mary Kay's been great with that, and as always, your incredible information and wise knowledge of the topic and able to help our seniors. We will be emailing everybody an evaluation form. We'd love to hear your feedback on the presentation, and that's important that we share that. Mary Kay likes to get that information from us as well, so she can get feedback on her presentations. Any other suggestions you might have for Zoom events from the Lakeshore? And again, if you do have any questions that you didn't get asked by Mary Kay, you can contact us. We'll make sure we can get you in touch with Mary Kay for sure. And if anybody wants a tour, please give us a call. We're excited that things are getting in motion here. And again, behind me in this picture, you can see the dining room that we've had our residents eating at in this week, and they've been so excited to get back here. So again, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to see everybody again. Be on the lookout for more information. March events we've got coming up is our TV dinner next week, throwback TV dinner delivery. And on Wednesday, the 17th, St. Patrick's Day. If you have an RSVP, let us know that you'd like to participate in that. You're going to come drive by the lakeshore and through our roundabout and pick up some Irish brown bread and jam that we have for you that our culinary team is presenting, and we'll just hand that to you right as you drive through with through the car. You don't have to get out. And then at the end of the month, March 25th, our University of Washington medicine team is presenting on memory loss and what is normal and what is not. So if you haven't RSVP'd for those events, please let us know and we'll get you on the list. Otherwise, great to see everybody. I hope you all have a great afternoon. Enjoy that sunshine that we have. And we look very, very forward to seeing you all very soon. So take care, everybody, and have a great day.
Thank you so much.